Motorcycle helmets will need to be replaced after a certain amount of time. But when is this and how often is this? Today we're going to answer this question for you. Hi everyone, Team of Champion Helmets here. You will need to replace a motorcycle helmet with a new motorcycle helmet after a certain amount of time. A motorcycle helmet doesn't have an expiration date like a product in the supermarket, but you can drive around with a motorcycle helmet forever. The rule that is always used is that you can drive around with a motorcycle helmet for a maximum of 5 years. And we start with the question, why should I replace my motorcycle helmet? The main reason to replace your helmet is that the material that it is made of can lose quality over time. Think of bonding materials such as glue and screws, or the outer shell and EPS inner shell. The helmet will then no longer provide protection in the event of an incident. First of all, the outer shell. If the outside of the helmet starts to get cracked or literally starts to fall apart, you will need to replace your helmet. This one is pretty logical, but it is important to know that it is really not safe to wear a helmet where this is the case. The outer shell is the first part that has to absorb the impact. Then the inner shell. The EPS inner shell is often the first to be dropped. This means that the foam on the inside of the helmet, which also absorbs the impact in the event of an incident, begins to come loose. In almost all helmets, the EPS shell is blackened, and if you can see any cracks or white patches, it means that it is losing its property and it is no longer absorbing the impact which it is intended for. Then the inner lining. The inner lining is also an important part. When you buy a new helmet, it is often tied around the head. After a few months, the cushions around the cheeks and forehead start to loosen slightly, but the helmet still fits well and is comfortable. If you move your head back and forth, the helmet has no room to move with you. But the inner lining can get a lot looser than that. If you shake your head back and forth, the helmet will start to rotate around your head. You don't want your helmet to rotate too far or not at all when you're riding on the highway. What you can do first, if the rest of the helmet is still in excellent condition, is to replace the inner lining. This is not high math and can be done by anyone at home. Manufacturers sell the inner lining separately, and it is wise to replace the inner lining once or twice within the rule of the 5 years maximum that you have the helmet. You should also look closely at the closure of the helmet. You have different types of closures. Here you can think of a ratchet closure or, for example, a magnetic closure. The ratchet closure can lose its function after some time and it does not stay closed properly or does not close at all anymore. And with a magnetic closure, for example, the magnet will no longer work and this closure also does not close anymore. If this is the case, it is definitely smart to buy a new helmet. If you have an accident and your helmet is not fastened, a helmet is of no use at all. Your helmet can fly off your helmet, leaving you with no protection at all. A common question we get is, should I replace my helmet if I dropped it once on the ground? And the answer is different each time it is dropped. A helmet can take a beating, especially if they are ECE approved. If you accidentally drop it or it falls off the bike, you don't have to buy a new helmet. You should then check that the helmet has no significant damage, so that the function of the outer and inner shell still does what it is made for. Do you think this is not the case? Then it's wise to purchase a new motorcycle helmet so you can safely get on your motorcycle without worrying about your helmet. Maintaining your helmet is also very important, and we are going to give you some tips. Tip number 1. Do not wear the helmet by the part of the visor closure of the motorcycle helmet. This can slacken the closure of the visor, causing the visor to not fit properly. Close the closure and grab it to wear your helmet, or grab it at the bottom of the helmet. Tip number 2. Don't put anything in your helmet. Dirty stuff can make your inner lining less soft and enjoyable, and by stuff with, for example, Velcro, you can tear the inner lining. Tip number 3. Don't hang your helmet on your mirror. Don't put it on the tank or on the seat of the motorcycle. These are all ways to destroy your inner lining, deteriorate the EPS in the shell, or your helmet falls and the outer shell breaks. Put your helmet on a flat surface if possible, and if it's not available, a soft surface. You can use, for example, your gloves. And tip number 4, the last tip, is that you should store your helmet in a dry environment and preferably in the helmet bag that comes with the helmet. This is the end of the video on when you should replace your motorcycle helmet. As long as you don't do anything crazy with the helmet, and you don't throw it around and maintain it well, you can ride around with it for up to 5 years. Do you want more information about the motorcycle helmets? Then visit our website www.thechampionhelmets.com, where we always offer the lowest price guarantee and have amazing discount bundles. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more informative videos. Thank you for watching. My name is Simon from Champion Helmets, and hopefully until next time.